But the big thing up here today is Iran and what we're going to do about Iran. You know, we've tried for 40 years to work with this government in Iran. We've pulled on it, pushed on it, we've appeased it, we've patted it on the back, we've sanctioned it, we've threatened it. Nothing changes the direction of this Iranian government. They use terror and murder at home and abroad. They want regional dominance. They've destroyed the state of Lebanon. They've built a huge military complex, and they've forward positioned it through Hezbollah, ready to attack Israel. Look, this crisis in Hamas brings this to a head. Can't appease this government in Iran. It's time to let the Iranian people have a government that represents them. And that means we, the United States, and our allies need to delegitimize the Ayatollahs. Get rid of them in international organizations. Cut off their access to funding. Sanction them individually. Get after their families. Stop this government from having control over its people. Doesn't take a war. Don't want an invasion. But if we keep going the way we're going, Iran is going to provoke a war in the region. And that's the danger.
Well, I'd like to ask you more about that. Let me first ask you about the Biden administration's repeated message that there is no actual evidence that Iran was directly involved in or helped plan or fund the Hamas terror attack. Do you need to see that evidence, or is that kind of missing the point in this conversation? You're pointing to a long history that the administration has also acknowledged, but without that evidence to put the two together, the president seems to be a bit tied up on this. What do you think?
Well, I think it's what the administration's appetite is for acting in many different directions at once, and what the capacity is. Washington typically is a one crisis at a time town. And, you know, we've got a crisis right now. We're worried about what Israel will do in Gaza. Will they have the support they need? What about Hezbollah? And what I'm suggesting is you got to go to the source, and the source is Iran. Now, is it the immediate source? Did the Iranians tell the Hamas people on this specific day, I want you to go out this specific gate, come in with these paragliders, kill these people? No, probably not. But we do have evidence that they trained a bunch of Palestinian fighters as late as September. We know there are meetings that have been held. Do we know what's said in those meetings? Well, not at the unclassified level, and maybe we don't even know at the most secret level. It's a question of how the administration sees its way through the crisis. And what I'm suggesting is that you have to be able to do more than one thing at a time. You've got Ukraine. That's at a critical state right now. They need sustainment, and they're facing a really tough Russian attack in the northeast. You've got Israel and Gaza, and then you've got the region. And so in the region, you have to understand the source of these tensions. It is Iran. And there's nothing like a crisis to bring on a path to a resolution. And in this case, the resolution is to delegitimate that government in Tehran.
There's talk about a second or third front opening. I know that's a great fear of the administration and the Pentagon general. But when you look around, we've already seen incursions repeatedly to the north. We've seen attacks against U.S. military installations in Iraq and Syria. We've seen an American warship intercept cruise missiles from Yemen. Are the second and third fronts already hot? Is this already happening?
Well, let's put it this way. They're warming it up. But I don't think the decision's been made by the Ayatollahs to really open up the northern front yet. It's just it's nuisance right now. Yeah, they're killing people, they're firing, but they haven't really committed. They want to wait and see what Israel is able to do in Gaza, whether it's so deeply enmeshed in Gaza that it can't defend itself from the north, whether the whole world turns against it because of the need to bring heavy firepower in an urban area to dislodge Hamas. If they can bring world opinion totally against it, isolate the United States and Israel, if they think the Israelis can't protect themselves from all three directions at once, then maybe they will unleash Hezbollah. And they haven't made that decision yet, so far as we can tell publicly.